Ambassador Stig Trevik from Norway, ASEAN investors, ASEAN colleagues, ambassadors from other friendly countries, my colleagues on the Board of Governors of the Human Rights Resource Center, Executive Director of the Center, Papa Mazuki Darusman, Papa Abadi Yamin, the Indonesian representative to AICHA, friends, researchers, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. I came to Jakarta to attend the board meeting of the center as chairman of the board of the Human Rights Resource Center. I was hoping to enjoy my weekend in Jakarta, but I'm told that I should deliver some remarks for this launch of this wonderful study. So here I am. I always try to be provocative, but today I have to be very well behaved because my boss, the Ambassador of Singapore, is here. So if I am excessively provocative, I may not be able to have a happy week when I get back to Singapore. But since our MC has introduced me as a former Secretary General of ASEAN, maybe I'd like to take a few minutes of your time to just highlight a few points about ASEAN and then to set the context for this study. First of all, many people in the world think that ASEAN has no place for human rights. That is not true. We have advocates like Papa Mazuki, Dato' Parang, many of you in the audience who have worked on human rights issues for your whole life, and you are still here. You are not prevented from speaking, and nowadays you are a celebrity on television. Because everything happening in the world means that you have a chance to explain your whole life of work and how ASEAN has evolved over the past decades. So when we at the ASEAN meetings talk about human rights, and on some occasions we try to make a strong debate. It does not mean that ASEAN has no interest or deny the existence of human rights in our region. And through the last 10 years, efforts of advocates like Papa Mazuki and Dato' Parang and many of you here, ASEAN leaders make the effort to institutionalize what is needed to promote and protect human rights. Therefore, we have the ASEAN Charter, which talks about establishing an ASEAN human rights body, which eventually led to the establishment of the ASEAN Intergovernmental Commission on Human Rights, AICHA, of which Pak Rafati is a member. And after the commission was set up, we have the ASEAN Human Rights Declaration. And Article 22 has been cited by Ambassador of Norway, which guarantee the freedom of religion, thoughts and beliefs. So we are slowly moving towards normalizing the exchange of views on as well as to work towards greater appreciation, awareness of this important area, and how do we allow what our law and constitutional provision have provided to come out more specifically on the issue of human rights. The second point I want to stress with this opportunity is that ASEAN is very, very diverse, very, very different from other regions of the world. You have heard the preceding speaker talking about the various religions, the spread of our beliefs, and the different types of colors, characteristics, and ideas. This must be borne in mind every time when we talk about anything to do with ASEAN. Because every time when we talk about something on, say, Indonesia, all other consideration regarding the other countries will also have to be borne in mind. When we talk about religion, Islam is obviously the dominant majority religion in Indonesia, but there are also other beliefs, other religions throughout the 17,000 islands which make up this huge country. And what is most important about this diversity is that throughout the century, we really try to tolerate each other. We try to understand what is going on in each of our communities, whether it's ethnicity or religion or other beliefs. And most importantly, we all coexisted. Of course, there were times when there were protests and riots and some problems, but at the end, we all come back together. Those troubles that we have seen in the past, and maybe now in some pockets of ASEAN, have to do not just with religion per se, but with our social conditions, our economic conditions, and so on and so forth. However, the overriding characteristic of the diversity in ASEAN is coexisting. So, as we look at this study and examine the content and the reports, bear in mind, diversity is part of our life in ASEAN, and the other most important characteristic is that we coexist and try our best to get along with each other. And there are good results in many countries today in Southeast Asia. The understanding of the diverse culture and ideas and other form of differences have allowed our respective society to flourish. The third point I want to make about ASEAN is that we are still not perfect. We have many differences, we have many difficulties, and we are still trying to navigate ourselves through all these difficult areas. But we should not let all these differences make us feel that things are getting from bad to worse, or we cannot work together as a regional grouping for ASEAN. Many changes have taken place in the world around us, as well as in ASEAN. Today, technology is so pervasive. Our handphone can be used to connect with everybody, as long as you have some corresponding gadget to communicate. Internet, now we have Facebook, and I was watching my illegal copy of the interview, the movie, on my small handphone actually, until the battery ran out. So I don't have to pay money to go to the movie house to see this movie called Interview, which many people in the world are arguing about. of this technology, because of this kind of communication, we are now amending or basically changing the rules of engagement. The citizen of the country, the government of the countries, they all now have to readjust the way in which they coexist, how they communicate with one another, how they live with one another, how they accommodate one another. So, in this process, the civil society and the government, the states that we all know, the gaps are no longer as big as we appreciate. It has come closer, and these issues that divide the state from the civil society, one part of our community from another part of the community, are all being redefined, rearranged. And all of us have to try to find ways to appreciate what are the implications and the impact of this kind of changes and adjustment. So this study on the freedom of thought, freedom of conscience, freedom of religion and beliefs should be set in this context. The change has come. Many developments are occurring. How else can we appreciate our diversity? How else can we find accommodation with the differences around us? And what else can we do to contribute to the success of our respective society, as well as all of us as a grouping in Southeast Asia? Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to conclude by thanking the researchers in this marvelous study. All that you get now is what we call the synthesis report. It is only maybe 0.5% of what the whole report is about. The researcher, led by all the leading experts, most of them are from ASEAN, and they try their best to appreciate the dimension, the diversity, and the development in ASEAN. And hopefully they have come up with a piece of research which is based on facts, balance, as well as with great optimism for the future. And all of you should read this study, tell your friends about it, get them to read it, not from the standpoint of saying what is critical or what is offensive. I believe they all try to be very accurate based on the information they have, and they are always looking forward. So this is why I feel that this study gives me great hope and optimism for the future. In fact, if you look at this photograph of the cover, 10 fingers holding the candle. I can say the 10 fingers represent 10 ASEAN member states. The candle represents the light of hope going towards the future. So it's not just for ASEAN. Maybe we can place other countries in that representative of the 10 fingers. But the main thing is that the researchers have tried their best to interpret what they have been given, what they have able to look at, the information available, and try to explain to all of us what are the situations in our respective ASEAN countries. And most importantly, how we can look at the future rather than what has been described in other literature as offensive or critical or criticism of what is available in our respective ASEAN countries. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me once again extend my congratulations to all those involved in the study. As you heard Papa Pak Marzuki just now, this is our latest report from the Human Rights Resource Center, which is set up to support the work of the ASEAN Intergovernmental Commission on Human Rights and to help educate the people of our respective ASEAN nations on the value and the significance of committing to human rights and bringing our society forward. Thank you very much for your attention.